How are you today? So, I decided to come online today and I'm going to be talking around this topic, which I stumbled upon yesterday on a particular platform that I'm following. A young man counselor in Nigeria who works with women and men on marital issues. And I stumbled on a content he shared yesterday that didn't quite go down well with me. And it made me to realize how deep the problem we have with the men in Nigeria is. I thought that the problem we had was a small one. But when I read the content of his post yesterday, I began to see that we have very deep issues that I don't know who is going to deliver them. I've always been calling and looking out for saviors for our men, because I have been studying marital issues for many years. Let's say for the past 20 years of my life, okay? I don't even want to bring in when I was a lot younger. I have been studying these things, I have been observing a lot of trends, and over the years, one of the things that I noticed is that the whole world, everyone is trying to advise women. Everyone is trying to make the woman, turn her into different things. She has to do it this way to make things work. It's always around what the woman is not doing right, and it's always around what she needs to do better in order to attract a man. No one is educating the men. No one is calling out the men. No one is, my father would say, it is the living that you stretch their neck. No one is stretching out the neck of the men, stretching their lives out. We are busy calling out women. We are busy conditioning women. We are busy talking to the women. Nobody is focusing on where we have the real problem, which I have understood over the years, over time, that we have a major issue with our men. No one has summoned up the courage to begin to speak to the men, to direct them, to help them in the areas where they are found wanting. So this man put up a post yesterday and was talking about his experience with a particular lady that he's working on, how he noticed that, he started talking about the fact that even though she was a very beautiful lady, but that he discovered that she was a super intelligent lady. I'm going to dwell on this for a while. So he felt that it was her intelligence, that was driving the men away. In his post, he said her intelligence is so obvious that even another intelligent person could feel intimidated by her presence. Then he continued that the way she carries herself makes her look arrogant. I'm sharing this because I'm picking on that point to dwell on it today, because I know that there are many women who are battling with this problem, who have been labeled as arrogant because the men in their environment, the men in the society, the men in their circle are unable to match their level of intelligence. I, for one, had that problem when I was dating men. I, for one, had been called proud. When men cannot relate with you, when they cannot, answer questions, when they cannot stand, people who challenge them, they begin to call you out as arrogance. I don't know why our Nigerian men would not go to educate themselves, to begin to put the right content in themselves to match intelligent women in our society today. Now, this man is advising this lady that she needed to tone down on her intelligence so that she'll be able to attract men into her life. This is just like telling someone that, maybe a girl who has been raised in, a rich home, that she needs to reduce herself to poverty in order to be accepted by people who have a poverty mentality. That is how I relate with this kind of advice. Now, ladies, if you find yourself to be super intelligent, you're a high flyer, you develop yourself, you are investing in yourself, you're just doing a whole lot working on yourself. The first thing I want to tell you today is that please, you don't need to shrink yourself to be accommodated by anyone. You don't need anyone to turn you into bring you down to their level in order to validate themselves as men. If you're relating with any man who feels good by bringing you down, that guy has a problem. Instead of these men to go and enlighten themselves, instead of these men to go and teach our men how to groom themselves, develop themselves to be able to match this type of women in the society. This is just like telling me that if a man wanted to marry an Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, so Ngozi needs to suppress herself. She needs to reduce herself in order to attract the kind of man she's living with today. I don't think that this is smart advice. I know that I had shared some of the content from the person who wrote this thing, but I totally disagree and I would never support this kind of teaching. My expectation is that people should really go and research why we're having the problems we're having in our society today. Part of the problem we're having with our men is that we have a lot of men who are not, mentally developed. Women marry these men, you find out that you're the one thinking for a man. A man is grown, full-blown adult man. He cannot really make decisions without having to call his mother, without having to call his sisters, without having to call his whole family. These are some issues that women are having today. And women are living with these men and managing men that are not mentally developed to make decisions. Now, if you tell a lady that she should shrink her intelligence to live with this kind of man, how about when they need to make certain decisions in the home? Then she should not speak, because this kind of mindset is also suggesting that these women or women should, this quote or proverb that says that women should be seen and not heard. So this lady, with all the investment she's made in her life, she should become dumb, because the society said that until she puts an MRS before her name, that's when she becomes a human being. Because this is the mindset behind this kind of advice. Instead of us to go and start looking for the problem where it is, we are looking for people who are working on themselves to become, personalities in the society. We are telling them to now shrink themselves because the society has said that women, you should marry, you should be married. Okay, this is your content, eh? I'm still going to do a lot more work on it. This one is video. I'm yet going to write. I'm going to really dwell on it for a couple of days so that I can help our women to recognize that if you start shrinking yourself because people think that, you're too intelligent, you're too rich, you're too this, you're too influential, and all that, there is no end to how much of your, in fact, by the time they are done with you, that your man that you're trying to reduce yourself on, by the time they are done with you, you will not be able to recognize yourself again, which is what has happened to a lot of our women today. I'm looking for all the intelligent women that I went to school with. People who came out with a first class. People who were coming first three in their classes. Where are they today? Marriages have destroyed all these people. I'm not seeing them. I'm not hearing them, because this is what the society wants our women to become. People who will put their lights under the bed because they want to be called Mrs. Something. This is not going to happen. So if you're still on this my platform, watch out for more content on this, because I'm really going to break this post, break it down into what I think about it. I think that this mindset is wrong if this is what we're trying to communicate to our women, because we're putting complex in them. We are limiting women.